have a really important question for you, and maybe this is the most important question you will ever hear in your entire life. Are you the mouse or are you the phoenix? That is the question. And the mouse pays attention to details to the point where it's like a turning molehills into mountains kind of vibe, where like you think so much about how to get it perfect that you can't do anything. You can't affect any kind of anything in the actual world. And all the phoenix is doing, the secret of the phoenix is, I've had enough and I'm lighting my limitation on fire. Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to my channel. This is Owning Authenticity. My name is Carly. And in this series, there's a playlist down below where you can catch up on the videos that have already come in this series so far about the gene keys and all the bubbles and pathways on the gene keys chart. Today, in this video, we are going to look at the pathway of breakthrough. So the pathway of breakthrough is one of the most important pieces on the entire gene keys chart, and all it is how to travel from like this side to this side. And it's not even necessarily one of the bubbles of like your genius, your evolution, your all the pieces that the gene keys shows on those bubbles. Like, we focus so much on the bubbles and we forget about the lines in between the bubbles and like, what are those really about? And this pathway of breakthrough is right between the first two bubbles being your life's work and your evolution, right? We do those two, that pair. We've talked all about that and the pathway of challenge that exists between them. And then once you're at your evolution, to get to the next part, to get to your radiance, you have to go along the pathway of breakthrough. And I have to tell just a very brief story here, because I think this illustrates like, why is this the most important piece and why is it so critical, even more critical than the bubbles themselves? When I started this series back in January, February of 2023, my initial thought was like, oh, one video a week and I could, spend 6 months and have a video on every single bubble, every single pathway on the gene keys chart. And that'll be like a really nice little series that I can build over these next several months. And I was doing really good on that. I made the first few videos, like a nice overview, the life's work bubble, the evolution bubble, the pathway of challenge. All of those have their own kind of like in-depth 20-30 minute video to like really focus on that one piece. Super valuable series. And I get to the pathway of breakthrough. And let me tell you what, in the last year, right? I'm recording this in February of 2024. In the last year, I have sat down to make this video. I'm going to say this is at least my 5th time trying to make this video. And every time I tried, I would record some. I would like try to explain it. And every time it did not feel authentic. It didn't feel genuine for me to come on here and explain to you what the pathway of breakthrough was, because I felt like for me, I was still very much in those first two bubbles on my chart. I was still in my pathway of challenge. I was still operating in the conscious mind, right? That is truly what the breakthrough is like those first two bubbles. That is part of your personality, aka your conscious design, the part of you that you know, the part of you that you're familiar with. And these next two bubbles, the rest of your genius, the genius is made up of those 4 bubbles in the activation sequence. And these last 2 bubbles, the radiance and the purpose being the one at the very bottom, those are your unconscious, your design, your soul is another way of saying it. Your body is another way of saying it. Like, what kind of fabric are you made of? Not who you think you are. Right? And so it comes back again to the phoenix and the mouse. Like, are you the mouse or are you the phoenix? And I felt like a year ago, and every time I've sat to make this video about the pathway of breakthrough, I have been coming to it from the mouse. I don't know enough yet. I'm not good enough yet. I haven't lived it myself, so how can I explain it to other people? Yada, yada, yada. And I'm not saying that's not valid, because it put me here today in divine timing to be making this video with this energy. And I have no doubt that that's what was needed, like divine timing carries us wherever we need to go, whenever we need to go there. But it truly does come down to when you are sick of your own limitations, when you are fed up with playing small, when you're fed up of living the mouse's life. See if I can get it out of the light. It's so bright here where I am. It's like you can't even see it. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever, you get it. It's a phoenix and it's on fire. And like literally all you got to do to have your breakthrough, the pathway of breakthrough, what is it? It's getting sick of your own shit. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of playing small. And then what happens? You light it on fire. You burn it to the ground, to ash, so that a new version of you can rise. And, just as an example, right? Like everybody has different bubbles on their gene keys. So like your pair that is your conscious design, your life's work and your evolution, and then your pair that is your unconscious, your body's intelligence, your soul's intelligence, are the radiance and the purpose. Everybody's got different gene keys in the conscious and in the unconscious. But for me, it was, I have 1211, like gene key 12 and gene key 11, and they are purity and light. And I see how, well, let me finish the sequence, because it's purity and light are my conscious, like what I know myself to be. And that is so freaking perfect, because I am historically like a perfectionist, like a recovering perfectionist, and recovering overgiver, recovering like carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders, like having to figure out everything for everyone, having to be everything for everyone, and expecting this of myself. And then when I get onto the unconscious part, like what is there, it's universal love. I have gate 25 as my radiance, so universal love. And my purpose is delight. So like, is it about being perfect or is it about having fun? Are you the mouse or are you the phoenix? And like your gene keys are going to be different. Maybe, I mean, maybe you got my own, like, hey, twin, like say hello in the comments. Let me know, like, what are your conscious bubbles on the activation sequence, your life's work and your evolution, and what are your unconscious bubbles, your radiance and your purpose? What are those? And can you see, have you had your breakthrough yet? Is it about the conscious side or is it about the unconscious side? Because when I am literally today having my breakthrough in this like mouse or phoenix moment. Where'd my mouse card go? Even just yesterday, I was this little guy, okay, like trying to be perfect, trying to get it right. And like one of the pieces that really helps me to see that like this is my breakthrough is that I care more about the person on the other end of this video receiving the love and radiance and joy that I have in this process, being able to receive it for themselves. I care more about that than getting it perfect, right? Like I care more about what it is that I'm able to contribute. I care more about shining God's love, source's love, universal love into the world rather than keeping that from the world. Right? And so this is my unique breakthrough, is this ability to see that like it is not about me. It is and it isn't, right? Like we're in an age of the rise of individual empowerment, and it is so much about you unlocking your gifts and your joy and your satisfaction, your deepest turn on for life. Like, what is that? What are you craving in your life? What do you want your life to be? What does your soul whisper to you in the quietest quiet that you ever put yourself in? Like, what is that? And what's stopping you? What's standing in the way? What mouse tendencies of overthinking are standing in the way, and what is ready to light itself on fire, right? Like, what are you ready to ignite? And that is the breakthrough of being sick of your own shit. Basically, that's speaking from firsthand experience, like with a breakthrough I'm having today. It's like, no, I'm sick of it. I'm not living like that anymore. That version is dead. I killed it. And in the ashes of that old version is rising the new version. Okay, so this is not quite as long as the other videos, and that, dude, like all the rules that we put on ourselves of like, well, the first videos were 30 minutes, so this one's got to be 30 minutes. Like, all the ways that we play the mouse, that we decide that like it's not good enough yet, it's not perfect yet. I didn't do it like I did it last time, and they're expecting this from me. So like I need to get back over here and like make it perfect. Like, I'm exhausted by the mouse energy. I can't take it anymore in my life. I'm sick of playing small. I'm ready to light that on fire and to emerge as the soul being, as the energetic being that I really am. Right? None of us are really the mouse. That's only a story that we can tell ourselves sometimes until we get sick of telling that story and we burst forward in our breakthrough into a new story. It's time. It's time. It's time. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just has to be real. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just has to be love. Doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be authentic. It doesn't have to be perfect. And breaking through perfectionism is truly my breakthrough that I'm having here today. And again, I cannot promise you that your breakthrough is going to come in the form of letting go of perfectionism. You know, like everybody's going to have their own pattern that they're ready to just like, that's fucking enough. That's enough of that. I'm done committing to that as my strategy for life. I'm done playing at that level. I'm ready for what comes next. And that is the energy of the breakthrough that gets you into your radiance, that gets you into your purpose. And what grows up out of the purpose, we haven't got this far yet in this series, but if you've studied Gene Keys, you know that like once you get to the bottom of your activation sequence and now you're at your purpose, what grows up out of the purpose is the Venus sequence. It's the true heart opening. And what grows out of the Venus sequence, what grows out of your heart opening, your contribution to the world, your abundance, your vocation, your culture, your contribution, the pearl of wisdom that you alone can add to the world. That is the last piece of the Gene Keys sequence, is like you got to get through your breakthrough. You got to stop playing small in order to even get to the part where you can open your heart fully. And once your heart is fully open, abundance, wisdom, making a contribution, adding value to the world, moving the needle of the world forward, like that is what's natural. That can't help but happen once you yourself are lit on fire. So I ask you again, are you the phoenix or are you the mouse? Which one are you? Decide. This is the most important question you will ever answer. It is my pleasure to get to ask it to you. And if you have appreciated the energy in this video, if you have appreciated the idea of figuring out what are your self-limiting stories so that you can break through those and light them on fire and get to see the real you rise from the ashes, it is my pleasure to invite you to living from your divine design. This is a free 5-day retreat that I am hosting March 16th through the 20th, 2024. If these dates have passed, you can still follow the link in the description to unlock the replays, or you can be there live. You can come play with us for an hour a day, 5 days in a row, and change your life. Stop playing small. I don't care really at the end of the day if you come and do that work with me, but please do that work. Please invite yourself into your own radiance, into your own purpose, into your own heart opening, into your own abundance, into your own connection to the power that you really are. Please invite yourself into this. And if that's something that you're already looking for, dude, the event is happening. The container is there. You can register at the link below. Until next time, I do hope that you will take really good care of your Phoenix self. Dude, burn those self-limiting ideas to the fucking ground, and so will I.